What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders and closet swing traders? Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Hope you guys had a great weekend, and I hope you guys are ready for the new week, the new month, the new day, the new quarter. I'm sure there's a New Year's Eve somewhere in there. I'm not quite sure, but hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Um, yeah, would have been a little bit crazy if we had a better looking gap. So here's our weekly chart. Still not a bad close from last week. That was pretty ultra strong. The little bit of a gap down today, it matters, but not to the same extent if it did something a little bit crazier. 1, 2, 3 weeks in a row of just nonstop buying. We did have some decent volume coming in here. Maybe a little capitulation volume that came in on 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I guess it is. We did get a close above that big red candle. We are still in a little bit of resistance. Could get some chop, but I would kind of think that 3 weeks in a row we finally could get some kind of a pullback. So we'll have to see on that. But what we don't have to see on, what we can count on each and every day, all of the MVP traders are in the house. We got Chuck with us. We got Al. We got Albert. Good morning to Alex, Bill, Brian. We got Carrie. Good morning, Corey, Eric, Fayaz, Franco, Greg, K. Ladies and gentlemen, is in the house. GW. Good morning. Jaquise, good morning. We got Jay, John, Kevin, Lauren, Mark, Peter, Rick, GJ is in the house. Of course, my boy Rock Fullwood showing up. We got Ron in the house. Shane, Tanya, Terrence, Trevor, Wynn, Wally, good morning. All my peeps in YouTube land, all of the lurkers sitting in the background. Good morning to all of you guys. And of course, as usual, if you guys have any stocks or tickers or anything like that that you want to throw in the chat, by all means, let's do so. Last month was a awesome month for the team. I think Johnny posted somewhere that like 11 plus R's or something like that for the month. Pretty fantastic. And let's see if we can continue the momentum this month. And like I said, I wouldn't mind a little bit of a pullback. I think we're still a little bit chopped too bullish. So we'll see if we can find any good tickers. There's a couple of news stories out there today that I saw, but I don't know. Jaki says BAH and JCI. We will definitely take a look at those. Q's pretty similar to the SPY. Obviously, this is a much bigger run on the Q's. Probably has to cool off eventually, but even with a little bit of a cooling off period, which maybe this week is red, potentially. I think we have CPI coming out this week, if I'm not mistaken. Someone wants to double check that for me, but I thought we had CPI coming out. I could see us, if we do this, maybe we get a little more fear in the market at that point. But realistically, I think overall it's still just, we're still in buy the dip territory. This is a really, really nice close. Even better of a close here than where we got to on the actual SPY itself. Let's take a look real quick at the levels before we move on. So let's flip this over to a daily chart. CPI is April 12th. So what do we got? Another week on that one? Okay. We are below Friday's VPOC on the Qs. If that remains the resistance, so if this one, we cannot break 319.31 on the Qs, probably the level down. The first spot would take me to 316.82. The one after that gets us to the next VPOC of 315.58. So we do have a little bit of room to the downside if that's the path we want to take. I do expect that top one to be a little bit of some type of resistance. The SPY itself, kind of in the middle of nowhere. We have some VPOCs, kind of decent volume area where you would think some selling should come in. To the high side, I think we look at 411.30, if not 411.65. To the downside, we're probably targeting about 407.31, something like that. Rock says end of an era. WWE sold to Endeavor. Yep. So UFC, I don't know if the deal went through though. From what I saw, they were just talking about it. They were interested in, and I think they're trying to work the deal out. But maybe I'm wrong. Done deal? Nice. Okay. That's going to be I'm actually glad that the UFC people took it because I mean they still need good storylines for WWE, but I'm not mad at that deal. I'm not mad at that one. All right, let's take a look real quick at WWE. So WWE on a daily basis. I mean, this thing's been rumored to they were trying to sell this thing forever. A little bit of a gap down on that news, which is interesting enough. 1, 2. I guess nobody else feels like UFC is suitable. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a row. Getting some kind of a pullback at some kind of support. We probably, I'd be looking for this area to hold. Even though this is a gap and go, I think we're too much of a support. Where I think this area looks to hold, and we probably fade it higher. So I'm not going to go bearish on that one. Unless we start to really, really break down, then maybe I'll kind of throw my hat into the ring. Richard Jet YouTube land. We got David Cooks speaks in the house as well. Good morning to you guys. Let's see. What was the ones? Yeah, XOM. We could definitely talk about BAH. Booz Allen Hamilton Holding Company. Is that like booze, like drink booze, or like they just get heckled every time somebody says their name? I don't know. I have no idea what this company is, but pre-market looks kind of flat. It doesn't look like, unless I'm missing something on the chart. It doesn't seem like that. So yeah, it's a wide spread as well. So you got a $90 bid. I did this one correct, right? It's the one. $90 for the bid, 102.99. So it's going to be very, very probably light in volume. And be careful on this, just the spread alone. If you enter the order incorrectly, you will be down very quickly on this one. But if you're looking at it for maybe a longer term basis, that does look like that's a little bit of a reversal candle. That's the retest. Looks like we started to break out. If we could come back down, if you could get even somewhere around 91.71, you probably have your stop maybe around 88.25 for a swing trade basis. So maybe, and again, I don't know what Booz Allen is, but we could see JCI. We got Johnson Controls International. It's kind of open and flat, so there's not really any gap as far as sentiment goes. Again, I'm not sure what the volume is in this one for day trading. I do like that double bottom a lot. So that's a decent double bottom, good hammer right off that previous VPOC. Looks like we did make a break. We didn't quite close out of that first red candle. We're still sitting in the range of, honestly, this one. But that is still showing some strength, and probably we get some continuation. I think the next stop on this one would probably be 61.46. And then maybe we look to take this to about 62.54 for some kind of initial swing at least. But looks like bullish would be the direction on that one. XOM. So ExxonMobil, you got Chevron, you got oil. OPEC came out. They're tightening their production, at least for now. So I believe some of these names were up about 8%. I think ExxonMobil was up 8%. Now looks like closer to probably about 5%. So really good gaps on this one. It is going to be news-driven gap. Normally that's fine. Anytime we deal with oil commodities, we're going to, and obviously ExxonMobil is not a commodity, it's a company itself, but they will move with any news that comes out from OPEC, any news that comes out. If the White House does a press conference today in regards to any of the oil and how they're going to go after oil, yada, 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 it will be a highly just news cycle trade. So question is for today, can this thing go any higher? It's up a lot. It is technically a gap and go. I would be terrified of this little resistance that we're in. And maybe I'm looking for more of a chop around. I think we probably have to look for a fade, but I wouldn't be the first one to fade this one. I would let this thing do nothing or go bullish without me. Then I'd be looking for about 116.02. So somewhere around 116. for maybe kind of fading this one. Maybe we get that boost. That would just give me for no other reason except for just better risk reward on the trade. But anything oil right now at open is bullish. And the question is, are people going to take profits or not? And we are at a little bit of resistance. So maybe a little bit tougher on the trade. Shane says it's a consulting company. Consulting. Big defense contractors. Which one was that? That was the BAH one? Yeah, for day trading wise, I'm not quite sure of the volume on it. From that one spread, it looked like a wild spread. So just even on a swing trade basis, make sure that you're not marketing in and out. Mm-hmm. Oil up, travel stocks is down. Yeah, they're usually they're usually a little bit tied together. So usually if oil goes up, airlines go down, cruise ships, if they haven't sank already, they usually go down as well. So that does make sense. What about Airbnb? Airbnb, it's travel. It's a little bit different of the travel, but you do have a little bit of a gap and go in this one. Again, I'd probably be looking for our first stop on this one's 121.87. So if that one can break, that would give us a decent trade to about 120.38. So some news as well on Bud. Anheuser-Busch with it's going to be more political than anything, and it's not a political statement for one way or the other, at least for me, but they do have, they've entered their hat into the woke category with new spokesmen. So I saw them trending over the weekend, and it looks like they're down a little bit, about 20 cents, nothing too crazy. They have had a massive run, though. Considering they're typically a little bit slower moving, but we could watch Bud today too, just see if they do anything kind of crazy. Probably be looking more for a fade on this one. This is a retest gap, so I would be looking for some kind of a retest into about 66.61. Maybe we could throw a stop at 67.19. Not sure if that could get us too high or not, but that would be a decent risk reward, and see if we could at least play some of this fade, just as they're in the news for now. Everybody's favorite, we got Tesla on the list. They did have production numbers come out. They missed slightly. I didn't think it was too bad of numbers. To me, it still shows that there is demand in it. But we are gapping down pretty heavily in Tesla. The question again, is this too much of a gap already? Or do we continue to trade bullish and fade this gap up? We have a little bit of support from in here. I would like to see us actually get back a little bit lower, probably to about 196.39. It's kind of in a little bit of a chop area where I could definitely still see continuation to a bullish direction, but at the same time, this is a decent gap down, maybe trapping some of the bulls on Friday. Let's see what the volume looks like towards the end of the day. Pretty strong volume all day. Here's our hourly chart. Not even a single red candle to be had on Tesla from Friday. I'm indecisive on the SPY win. So Win says, are you bullish on the SPY? I'm indecisive, but still with a bullish lean. Yep. I can see continuation, but we've run a lot. We've run a lot. So I don't know that the bulls have completely gone away. I don't know what would cause that to happen except for just plain profit taking. And we have a little bit of a gap down. I don't think the gap down is too crazy to worry about. So maybe not today. Maybe today is more of a pullback day, and I would get that. In a short-term outlook, I'm still bullish. I'm not going to waver from that yet. I need a little bit more fear to come in, or on the other hand, a little bit more exuberance of people. Just everybody's going, this is bullish. Pretty much like another day or two, like Friday, and I could probably start to get a little bit to the bear side. BABA, so this is our third day down on BABA in terms of VPOC. Again, massive move. I'm still not sure though. Realistically, if we throw in a fib, don't think that this is not a bad spot to look for a bounce. Yeah, maybe we do continue a little shorter. We are below the 618. So we broke it here. We actually bounced back in. If we take a pre-market break on this, I don't know if my risk reward is decent or not. So I got 118. That's already been retested. If that one breaks, then we have a good move to 98.06. But not too crazy on that one. Win says we're high. Number wise, I don't live in Colorado or Utah. Okay. All facts. I can't argue that. It's all factual. Tesla fade to the upside. Yeah, let's look at Tesla's pre-market, see if we get something on this one. I don't know. I honestly don't know. It would make absolute sense. So this is why I don't want to waver off like, yeah, Tesla's probably still a little bit to the bullish side. There's a lot of bullish news. I don't think the numbers, the numbers were a miss, but I don't think by that much. They still have very, very strong demand, all things considering. And we just did not even put a single red candle on an hourly chart for any of this. So all of this I can still see being some kind of a pullback. If you want to fade this thing higher, yeah, I get that. I don't know if this is a real candle or not, but that would be your retest. And then I can see us coming down just as easily as I can see us going up. To the downside, we probably have about 195.86 on the hourly chart. That would take us right into there, maybe 196.16. We do have a developing VPOC that was here, almost hit, not quite. So I don't know. I think it's going to be a little bit tougher where maybe we could find something else that has a little bit more follow through. I just don't see anything yet. Not quite. Let me see if I can expand this graph out real quick. There we go. Still trying to get like all the settings on the new laptop set up. All right, let's go down the list unless you guys have anything else. But yeah, kind of a quiet morning, believe it or not. No real gaps, really anything too crazy. Disney, again, we're still in the uptrend. Disney looks like it's opening pretty flat to close. We'll see. With MFG PMI coming out at 9:45. Man, they got PMI coming out today as well. Yep. So Babbitt says Disney. Disney, I'm not really seeing anything too crazy. So again, it's pretty much. I think bullish is still the direction. This is where like after things run a little bit, I'm like, I don't know. We have this kind of target that I was targeting, right? So we're at like $100.61. I think that's a really good target for it. I think we get some kind of a bounce after we've already kind of had some kind of run. So again, my tilt is still longer term in the bullish direction. But the fact that we could probably come back down, and it would make sense if we could hit like 99.43, maybe a slightly longer picture, 98.99, we just kind of retest and pull back. So I don't know. Do we have the same bullish momentum that we had on Friday? Friday was, if you were a bear, your face got ripped off and you had 2 days to repair it. But do you want to come back in with that same enthusiasm that you might have had bullish? Do you want to continue the trend bearish? I don't know. Let's take a look real quick at MA for Peter. Peter, your chat's on host and panelist, just FYI, if you want to change it over to everyone. MasterCard, same thing. Yeah, we're trending. It does have some more room to a bullish side. Probably about 367.01. I do like the fact that our VPOC is kind of continuing up higher. This would be a little bit of pullback to 362.61. Again, really, really strong close. Not quite at the resistance. We've been up now for, essentially it looks like Christmas. So we got red, green. So any of these red candles, they've just been retest. And I think this pattern could, not pattern, but I think the direction could continue bullish, at least to probably this 367. I'll call it 367.50. And then we have to see what kind of happens there. So I think any dips that come in will probably be bought up. But could the sell-off today get a little bit crazier just because I think we have to retest a little bit further than one little day of movement. So I don't know. But yeah, I'd still want to be in bullish. If you're already in this thing bullish, say you play this thing with this double bottom, beautiful looking hammer, caught the gap up, caught that retest, whatever it is, this is probably a spot to shave some shares and start taking some profits. And then maybe if it continues, great, you'll make some additional money on the other shares, but at least lock some gains in. If I was in bullish, that's what I would be doing today. I'd be looking to take some shares off and then reallocate the funds back if it does dip a little bit lower, or find something else. All right, we've got AMD with a little bit of a gap down right at a very high volume area, so I could see some sideways chop. This does look an awful lot like big old head and shoulders to me. That could be left shoulder, that could be the head. This is the right. This is going to be a highly contested area for the bulls. They're going to want to save this thing as much as humanly possible. I think it's just going to be more of an inside day chop fest on AMD. But if at really any point we start to really break and hold 93.59, then we got a good move, probably all the way back to about 87.40, somewhere like that. So I don't know if today's a day where we want to just fight the chop on AMD or let it break, and then in a couple days we might have a better setup on it. But little bit of a choppy. Let's see. Liza says, just signed on from a plane, can't get onto Zoom, only to YouTube. Good morning. Oil cartel announced our output cuts. Russia probably is not displeased. No, yeah, Russia probably likes it. If I was Russia. Liza says, I'm having a conversation with myself. No, it's YouTube. It's YouTube. But that's pretty good. We're streaming up in space right now. That's cool. All right, let's see what else we got. Google. A little bit of a pullback to key area right now. Technically under Fridays. We're going to get all these inside days, all these inside candles today. Yeah. I was hoping for a little bit more. Interesting spot on FRC. We'll see if this one wants to hold, but slightly below a lot of those VPOCs. Still hanging into that last one. Microsoft, here's another one just been like, if you want to talk long-term investing, as much as you might love Microsoft, I can't buy it here. I mean, this is just an insane run. And that being said, can it go higher? Yeah, it's got room. We're not at all-time highs. But one of the strongest stocks, actually, the strongest stock I think of the first quarter, they said, was Intel. Intel was like the leader. Believe it or not. I don't know. But we've got nothing but air still. So I could even see us at this point potentially getting up to about 35.76. Again, I don't think that's today. But that's where I'd be looking for. Mara, I'm looking for Mars. I'm looking for to swing it if it breaks $10. But yeah, Mara is going to be directly tied to how Bitcoin's doing. You're looking for a $10 break. I don't know if you wanted to get that high first. I think if you're waiting for this thing to hit $10 before entering a swing, and I'm assuming that the swing is in a bullish direction. If it's bearish, I'd probably be looking for a bearish swing into $10. Otherwise, if I'm bullish, I kind of don't mind the pattern now. We're just really consolidating. So some kind of a pullback here could make sense. Something like this. And then probably try to buy it as close as you could to 7. And then see if you get that breakout, and maybe you have stops somewhere at 5.25, something like that. But yeah, in this zone, you have some moving averages coming down on you. You do have this resistance from up here. And again, it is going to be heavily dependent on Bitcoin. So let's see if we can find where Bitcoin's at today. I did say I think Bitcoin hits 30K. We're still hovering in that range, but if we push out the chart a little bit, we got awfully close to it, right? So we got right into this heavier volume area. So I think this is a pause for Bitcoin. If we could start breaking and holding above 30,287, that gives us another really good upside to Bitcoin, probably to about 37,967. And then we have a lot of range. That's where I think Mara gets more, same thing with Riot. All those guys, I think, get a little bit more wind beneath them on the backs of Bitcoin, and then probably move higher. So really watch Bitcoin. I'm a little concerned about this high volume area. This would be a good spot to get rejected. It looks like we almost did some kind of a double top so far. But again, any other news in the banking industry, to the negative side, will probably give maybe enough momentum to Bitcoin for a continuation run. So we'll have to see on that. Square opening below the last 2 days. Yes, so far I'm like, man, there's not that many great gaps. We're just hanging out. But this one does look interesting. Yeah, it actually might be one of my favorite ones today. I still need this thing at open to go higher. So I want to get this thing back to like 68.32, find the rejection spot, and then we come back down to test like 66.76. So we're not even gonna have that much room to work with, but we have some room. Probably the best room we've had so far. And then we got Nvidia, who just refuses to go down, still in a little chop fest. Yep. So to the lows. First spot I really want to look at is 273.84. See how it wants to hold there. That would be my spot to try to look long on this thing. And then if we get up to 276.90, that's going to be my spot to look short, which is a tough look in general. So Oxy with the gap up. Yep, that's going to be moving based off of the OPEC news. Kind of similar to ExxonMobil a little bit, where we do have a little bit of resistance in the zone. If we could get a close above 65.95, the next stop on it will be 66.88. It is a technical gap and go. It's just up a lot, and you might have people wanting to take some kind of profits. Whether that comes today or in the next few days, I can see this being a gap that eventually closes. Every time this thing's been bought up, it's been shot right back down, and Warren Buffett comes in, buys some more, until probably eventually he just buys the entire company. That's my guess. But he's definitely got a good level of support on this thing that he likes. And this is not gapping because of Warren Buffett. It's gapping because OPEC news. Attorney Dan in the house. Jerome wants to take a look at AI. What do I got? 33 seconds. AI, yep. The momentum trend, everything is bullish, and we're about to. This is going to be an area the bears need to keep this thing down. If not, it's got a very, very decent move ahead of it. I'm going to add AI higher on my list as well. But I got 13 seconds left. So everybody in YouTube land that's on the ground, everybody in YouTube land that is flying, appreciate you guys joining us each and every day. And you guys can hang out with us all day long. We do have all access pass from 9 a.m. till. Otherwise, be safe out there in the market. It does look a little bit more to the choppy side. And we'll see what happens from there. Otherwise, you guys are incredible.